Welcome to this Halloween edition of OG55. I got the Italiano, Lucas Kim, and Tones, Poppy the Targaryen in the house today. We're taking your questions. We're talking Halloween. Just having a good time today on this episode with a very special Halloween episode of OG55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to this very special edition of OG55. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Halloween. We are going to talk shop with everybody here tonight. We'll talk Halloween. We'll take your questions. Just chill, have a fun night. Before we get started, George, the Italiano, is back. Thanks for dropping in, George.
Absolutely. Glad to do so. It's, because in tonight's episode, you are the star.
yeah, exactly. So, George, where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And yes, being that I am the Hollywood Tower Hotel bellhop, I do have some huge baggage.
Yes, you do. A lot of baggage.
And George accepts different kind of tips as a bellman.
He does.
Than most.
Yes, absolutely. Is that true, George?
That is true. Yeah, I have my own separate Venmo and everything.
So. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, I know, right?
Is that what you're calling it? Mr. Lucas Kim, it is always fun having you on the show, brother. Love the costume. Amazing stuff. If you want to let everybody home know where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff, brother.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, also known as X. It's Lucas Kim. Also, you can find me on the Blue Sky as well as YouTube, Lucas and Disney channel, and you can always find me right there.
Perfect. Make sure you follow him on Blue Sky, Twitter, and his YouTube channel. I'll be linking everything down below. Tones, Poppy is in the house. Tones, it's been such a long time since we've seen you, brother.
I know.
You look great.
Appreciate it. Everyone looks good. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. You guys can find me on season 3 of House of the Dragon. Hopefully. No, you guys can find me at Tones_TV on all platforms. If you guys want to follow me on YouTube, where I do a bunch of TV shows, movies, trailer reaction videos, you can go to Bat Dot Studio on YouTube.
There he is. All right, before we dive into some questions today, let's talk a little Halloween. George, the Italiano, I will start with you. Yes. What is your Halloween tradition? What do you usually do on Halloween? Or do you do anything usually?
Well, really, honestly, as I gotten older, I don't really do too much on Halloween. When I was younger, I would dress up and do like the Halloween costume contest, go trick-or-treating and everything. But more recently, I found an interest that it may not be on the actual Halloween night, but I love going to Halloween events. Like at Disney and Universal, we've done Oogie Boogie this year. We've also done Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. So I think that's become more of my like Halloween tradition to do like those specialty party events at the parks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have to say, OG, I had to do a double take because I thought at first what you were wearing on your head was like a replica of like those Tao animals that they do on Disney Cruise Line.
Oh, that's good.
That I had because it actually kind of resembles it, like when they make the Tao animals in your room, like when you go back in the evening. Yeah, I see it's Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. But that's that's very interesting what you could do to his ears.
The funny thing,
like very fluently, like very animated.
There you go. The funny thing is, though, George, that's actually a good merch idea for the Disney cruise to make hats like this that look like rolled up towels.
Well, they started actually having the plushies of replicas of the Tao animals. So that would be cool. Yeah, if they actually did like the hats and everything. But yeah, I think it's funny that you could do that with his ears. that happens to me every time I'm with Abby, but it happens when it's not the ears. So
Oh, jeez. See, I knew you were setting up a joke. I knew you were setting up a joke, and I knew you went there with it. That's awesome. Tones Poppy. What special tricks can you do with your ears?
Oh, is this the After Dark or what do we talk about? After Dark, OG?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, but in all seriousness, what do you usually do on Halloween, Tones? Like, are you party guy, or are you just kind of chill at home, pass out candy?
See, when I moved from San Francisco, I haven't really done much as far as like something personal or go to like parties or anything. But before I left California, we used to, growing up, we used to go to parties all the time. We used to go to bars and stuff. And then, once my sister and brother started having kids, we used to take, my niece and nephews out and all that stuff. So we used to do all that stuff. But yeah, as of late, not much, man. I have my niece and nephew here, and it's just been more of seeing stuff online that I've been looking, and I've been a lot of like House of the Dragon content that I do. A lot of people dress up as some of the characters from the show, so I like to do videos on and like rate some of the characters that they are dressed up as on Halloween. But yeah, not much, man. Not much of nowadays for sure.
Yeah. No,
Once we go to Kim, I want to ask you guys a question. All right.
absolutely. It's funny because like this past week has been really, really busy for the Italiano and I, because we did Oogie Boogie Bash at DCA. We did Halloween Horror Nights, and then you were out here and we spent time together. It was just a crazy week. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same. I kind of just every year I kind of do like the Disney thing for sure. I don't know. I pass out candy for the kids. I like to do that, whatever. They come to the house, but nothing major, pretty much. A few years ago, I was doing the whole party thing. I haven't done that in a few years, but I kind of miss it. I might get back into that maybe next year. We'll see.
Hey, why not?
Has anyone ever done the actual, like the tradition, like when kids come up, if you're handing out candy, you take one piece of candy to put it in their bag, but then you grab like a handful and put it back in the bowl?
Yeah, it's great. So you keep this one and I take this, right? It's fantastic. Mr. Lucas Kim, what is your Halloween tradition? What do you usually do on Halloween? I know you're a family man, you got kids and stuff. I mean, do you take them trick-or-treating? Do you guys stay home? What do you guys do?
Usually like we just started doing trick-or-treating. But the funny thing is that when I was little, I didn't really celebrate Halloween. And then as I got older, like during my college year, started getting into more like a Halloween stuff, and like a bunch of like college students decided to go around the neighborhoods and take candies, even though we're adults and everything. But we, they just wanted to do, at the end of the day, adults gonna be kids when it comes to the Halloween. That they're gonna take candies, and by the time my first greatest experience for Halloween was like when I actually went to Six Flags and for the Fright Fest. That was like my big most interesting experience that I've had so far. I didn't realize that there was even a thing where people will dress up as like like undead or like insane people and try to scare you. That was like a very fun experience for me.
That's interesting. So Fright Fest is basically like Magic Mountain's version of like Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, pretty much. They walk around.
Yeah. So during September, during the Labor Day week, I actually went to my very first Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights, and I was highly impressed. I haven't been ever since the pandemic. I haven't been really been in any of the the horror fests or anything like that. So this my first Halloween Horror Nights. I've always heard good things about it, and you know what? It was amazing experience. I really enjoyed it this year. I know that some people were disappointed, but I disagree. I genuinely think that people are probably bored out of it. That's probably why they're disappointed. But for me, I thought they did an excellent job. And during the whole day right there.
Yeah, it's funny, Lucas, you mentioned that. I think I haven't gone to Fright Fest. I've never been to Fright Fest, but this year was my first time kind of going to HHN at Universal. I went many years ago, like right out of high school. I don't really remember much of it, to be honest with you. George and I went recently with Abby and Mr. Webba, and I'm telling you, I can't. We did a couple videos on it. Like, I can't get over what a great time that was. It's so much fun going through those mazes. They scare the shit out of you. They're well done mazes. They're themed. It's just fantastic. So it's honestly, we're talking about Halloween traditions. That might become my Halloween tradition. I already told George. I said I'm going back next year. Like, we're doing it. You know?
And I think Slimer said it best because he was on for our part 2 of it.
I miss Slimer, man. I haven't done a video with Slimer in so damn long, dude.
You know what I'm saying, dude? I know. Same with us. We only get Slimer like once a month, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, I heard that Japan, the Halloween Horror Nights is a completely different experience compared to Hollywood and Orlando, and they always do the Resident Evil every year over there. So I'm actually like, you know, I want to kind of like open my schedule one day, just go during the October time and just go over there. And you know,
God.
Well, it's cool. I like, that's why the cool thing about the international parks is that they do get a different kind of, not just with Halloween, but with everything really. They get like a different kind of, because culturally and everything, these big theme park companies approach those parks differently. So it's kind of interesting to see the differences and everything. You know, Seymour Duck is in the chat. I talk to Seymour all the time. Like, we want to go to Japan because it's like they approach their parades, their shows, everything so differently out there than out here in the States, you know? So it's a great point, Lucas. Italiano, you were saying about HHN, I believe.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off. But
No, you're cool. So yeah, I think Slimer said it best, that Universal, you know, pays a lot of attention to detail for something that's basically temporary. It's there for just a little while, but they don't treat it as if, okay, well, this is just temporary. It's just for the Halloween season. So let's just throw a bunch of crap up and people will, you know, pay for it and enjoy it anyway. They go all out for the intricacy of detail between like what you see in the houses themselves, the scare performers, and just the overall the ambiance, like with the music and the lighting and the pyrotechnics. I mean, they really go all out just for a season. And I as I said, I'm still Disney biased. You know, Disney will always be my thing, but you got to give credit where credit's due. And I'm sorry, Universal takes the cake when it comes to Halloween.
Yeah, because Universal has more permission, so to speak. And I say permission loosely, but like they have permission to sort of like get a little edgy or a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I think that works really well for a holiday like, you know, Halloween. Absolutely. Okay, so let's start taking some of these. We got a couple super chats. We got Mr. C.
After this super chat, let me. I want to ask you guys a question.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
Go to Seymour. Go to Seymour first. Go to Seymour first. You're good.
Mr. C. Moore Duck in the house with a $5 super chat. Why did Mickey Mouse take a broom to his Halloween party? He heard there would be mini witches there. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you as well, Mr. Seymour.
Happy Halloween, Seymour.
It's always good to see you, brother. It's always good to see you. Tones Poppy.
So I want to ask you guys, and I'll go first because it'll give you guys time to think. But do you guys remember when you guys went trick-or-treating and a specific day and something cool happened or crazy happened? I want to get your guys' like, even when you guys would go trick-or-treating and a cool experience that you guys had when you guys were kids or younger. I'll go first because I love telling the story because it was so random, right? So me and my buddy Victor, we lived a block away from each other. We grew up. He's one of my best friends, and we went trick-or-treating. And I think we were in like middle school or like we were young. We went trick-or-treating, and we went from his house to the end of the block. And we went over to these apartment complexes that were kind of just hidden, but we were just like, okay, let's check it out because there was lights. They had, you know, the whole setup and everything. So we rang the doorbell, you know, trick or treat and all that stuff. And the lady goes, "Oh, there's actually people coming to my house." So when she opened the door, and she was like, "Just letting you guys know, we don't have candy. We don't really expect people to come to the apartment complexes, but don't leave. I'll be right back." So she goes, and then she comes back, and you see her walking with a plate in her hand, and she comes and she gives us fried chicken instead of candy. And when I tell you, and like, I'm not even exaggerating, it might have been the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life. Like I remember it till this day. It was so random, dude. So we ate the chicken. We're like, are you sure? Like we don't want to take your food. And so she gave us the chicken, and we're like, thank you, have a good night, and all this. And me and my buddy Victor walked away, and we started eating it. We're like, dude, this is fucking amazing chicken. So I've always wanted to go back, dude, and I just always forget. They're probably not there still, but it was probably one of the best like things I got out of trick-or-treating ever.
I will say, speaking of like very good fried chicken, I like recently had Jollibee's for the first time.
Dude, I want to try. Was it good?
Dude, I tell you, that was the best fucking fried chicken I've ever had. I don't know what they do. It's like, I don't know, when you take a bite out of it, it's so moist and juicy and plump, and the chicken was good too. But I mean,
if George would have ever opened up like a food channel or a food like to look at food or like test food out, he would make food so sexual it wouldn't even be funny.
Oh, dude, it'd be out of control.
Description of food would be out of control.
And then the Jolly spaghetti is it's weird
Sweet.
because it's sweet, yeah. Because I mean, Abby was schooling me on because it comes from the Filipino culture, and she told me about banana ketchup. I didn't even know what the hell banana ketchup was, and I'm like, what is it? And it's like, I ate that whole thing by myself. Usually, like, I asked, like, would you like some or some? I didn't even save her any. Like, I literally ate that whole thing by myself. But dude, Jollibee's fried chicken, if you're a fan of it, of fried chicken in general, definitely I highly recommend.
Totally off subject, but when I was working at San Francisco airport, I had worked with a bunch of Filipino people, and they would sometimes for like potlucks, they would bring, you know, Filipino their Filipino food and all this stuff. And that was the first time I ever tried Filipino spaghetti, and it was sweet. It had like sausages in it, and it was different, but it was good. But I remember, I don't know if this is a Filipino dish, but the Filipino lady brought it. It was cooked salmon with crab on top, and it was the best fucking salmon I've ever had in my life. And I make amazing salmon, dude. I make amazing salmon, and she brought it, and I was like, oh my god, it was so good. But I love Filipino food. Filipino food's so good.
Yes, I did get the peach mango pie. That was really good. I actually think I got one thing. I think I got each thing off the menu. I got the chicken, the spaghetti, the Abby's gonna kill me if I mispronounce this. Palo bok. That's another kind of.
You're not fluent in Tagalog yet, George?
No, not even close. I got the cheesy yum burger, which was good, and then the peach mango pie was
nice. Awesome. We're peach people here, absolutely. Tommy Toon World. Tommy, actually, I just got off a live show with Tommy and our friend Theme Park Conductor on Theme Park Conductor's channel, and it was an amazing conversation. Make sure you go check it out on Conductor's channel. Check out the replay. I unfortunately got cut off because my Rodecaster every now and then will glitch out, and it forces me to reboot my whole system. So unfortunately, I had to leave early and get it fixed before this live show. But Tommy is an amazing dude. Tommy, really was a great time talking parks with you on Conductor's channel. You're always welcome here on OG55. I would love to have you on and talk Disney, talk Universal, whatever you want to talk about. It'd be a lot of fun, Tommy. So yeah, always welcome here on the channel, brother. Always welcome. And Mr. C. Moore Duck says Jollibee peach mango pie, so good. So that's what you were referring to, yes. Right, George?
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had Jollibee's the other day, so I think you meant bomb. Oh, so damn good. No, absolutely. No, Jollibee's is great. You don't have any of that over there, huh? In PA, George?
No, we got shit over here.
There is a Jollibee in New York City, but I've yet to go there. I know, like, you know, everyone's been telling me, like, what haven't you go to Jollibee? I'm like, you know, I'm very skeptical on trying new foods all the time. So, like, but I've heard good things about Jollibee, and that's like kind of in my list. And what is it? Another one that I wanted to go when I was in California was an In-N-Out burger. That was like one of the things that I wanted to try.
You never had In-N-Out?
You never had In-N-Out?
No, I think OG and George know that I missed my flight, so I missed almost every
Yeah.
single one of those opportunities when I was there. So, I've been sitting on that airport, like thinking all the stuff that I missed so far. So I was like pretty pissed when for the next 6 to 8 hours of delay right there.
So next time you're down here, Lucas, we're gonna give you like the California World Tour, bro. We're gonna get you over to the we'll get you over to Jollibee's, we'll get you over to In-N-Out. We'll do all the stops.
We
One
just
thing
had In-N-Out before I left because we made a stop on our way back because we were already on the road. So we had a nice little picnic on the bed in the hotel room with In-N-Out. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
The one thing I love about In-N-Out is the pricing of it. It's like it may not be the best burger you've ever had, but it's damn good for the price and the quality.
It actually tastes like beef. It actually tastes like
exactly. Doesn't have the best fries. The fries are a little.
The fries are a bit wonky. I don't know. Like I don't know. Sometimes it's like a hit or miss with those.
The only thing about In-N-Out that I don't like is that Thousand Island sauce. I don't know, man.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. Is it mayo based? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's like mayonnaise.
See, that's why OG doesn't do the mayo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
OG has yet to try takoyaki with a mayo yet. Then.
Yeah, I don't do mayo.
I will say when we were at Oogie Boogie. Now I know you wiped off the aioli because again it's mayo based, but that's the burger we had at Smoke Jumper's Grill during Oogie Boogie that had like the jalapeno sauce on it and the bell peppers and everything. It was spicy as hell, but it was really good.
It was really good. I wish we had the video of the burger you had at Universal with the rubber cheese.
Oh yeah, Ebba took that video. I tell you this. We got a burger at the Jurassic World quick service thing. I grabbed my burger. Ebba had to record me because I'm just like sitting there and I'm like flicking it and it's bouncing, and I'm like, I can't imagine like what the fuck this is going to do to my insides. It's probably going to be in there like 1,000-year-old egg.
Oh, bro, it's still in there probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, you ate the cheese? I would have took that shit off.
He ate it.
But what I did was I peeled that part off. The center part was normal, but it was like the edges that was just like.
That's crazy.
OG, have you ever had anything with mayonnaise that tasted good?
I honestly. I've had mayonnaise before, but I don't like it. It ruins the whole thing for me.
Have you ever had anything like with a mayonnaise kind of like just like in it, like a sauce or something like that had mayonnaise in it that you're like, oh, okay, that's not that bad?
Not that I can remember. No. I mean,
are you lactose intolerant?
No, I just don't like mayonnaise because it's kind of sour or something. It doesn't really. It's not for me. But like for example, we had that spicy burger over at the Smoke Jumper's Grill, right, George? At DCA, which is was it aioli?
It was an aioli, yeah.
Yeah, it was mayonnaise based, and I used like 30 napkins to like dab it.
You're one of those who won't like ask to bring it back. You'll just take it off yourself.
Yeah, I was like dab it, because Disney doesn't care. They're not gonna customize it for you, So I just dabbed it, and it still has some on there, So I had a little bit of it, but like I just can't do like huge amounts, man.
And OG's not too much of a tomato guy either, so he like grabbed the tomato because it had all like the aioli on it, and all I heard was a big like he like flipped it right onto the tray.
Yeah, I'm actually not. I don't mind tomatoes. It's just that one was kind of gnarly. I was like, ooh, man, not looking so good, So I just took that bad boy off. But Keegan here says we all know George is going animal style. Picnic on the bed. Yeah, I bet.
Keegan, I did actually have a joke for it, and I thought I'd be good. I'm not going to say it, but since you brought it up, I mean, you have to think. I mean, what's the best time to have In-N-Out on a bed? So it's like.
There you go, George. There you go. Absolutely. 100%. Okay, let's take some of these questions. We got another super chat. Mr. Matthew Murr, all the way from the UK. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today, sir. With a year having passed since Once Upon a Studio, has your opinion changed on it at all? Do you think it holds up any better having seen my more epic rewrite? I just think it's good to reevaluate. No, my opinion hasn't changed. I'm still the same as I was before, Matthew. Now, Lucas, have you seen Once Upon a Studio, the short with Mickey Mouse and all that?
Not that I know. I don't recall the title.
It's a short?
Yeah, it was on Disney Plus like last November, and it was Mickey Mouse, and it was all the characters.
Wait, is that the 100th anniversary one, like where all the characters join in together to take a quick photo? I guess.
Correct.
I think, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
So, what did you think about it?
I think is you know what I feel like that's it was very warming to see all your favorite Disney characters join in as one, and whether it's 3D characters or 2D characters gathering up together. I always kind of imagine if we were in a Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Chip and Dale type of world right there. I would always imagine 2D type of characters walking across my New York City, and so it's just like, howdy do, Lucas, or something like that. And I love it. I just wish that there will be more crossovers in the very distant future. That's just how it is. I don't know if any of you watched the new the recent live action Chip and Dale movie.
Yeah,
I thought that was very good.
It was fantastic.
It's like a what is a homage to honoring people who loved Who Framed Roger Rabbit, type of animation and live action crossover type of stuff, and they brought in the Chip and Dale version. I hope there will be a sequel in the future. One of those things I think Disney does very well on bringing those Easter eggs is how I would say it, and that was also kind of the thing that I noticed in the Wreck-It Ralph, the second one with the Ralph Breaks the Internet, where all the Disney princesses were right there, and that was also Easter egg part of stuff right there too.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, Tones, I'm assuming you didn't see that short, right, on Disney Plus?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, I'll put it on my list. How about that?
Exactly. You got to put it on the list. It was good. It's it's very classical Disney. You know what I'm saying? They go through it's live action and animation, just like Roger Rabbit, and they kind of go through the studio and it's all the characters, from the last 100 years. It's a good little homage, little tip of the hat to Disney animation in general. But
basically the whole goal is at the end for all the characters to come together and do a group photo in front of the main animation building, and it's it's basically, it was created specifically for the 100 years of the company.
Yeah. It's interesting. Wow. It's interesting.
I want to watch it.
Mr. Ben Zacuto. Thank you, Ben, for being a member. We do appreciate you, sir. Do you guys think we could get a Villains Land in Disneyland Park? Maybe starting at the Fantasyland Theater and extending into Galaxy's Edge area. Yeah, that would be kind of cool, Ben. I think it's a possibility. I think that Disney, there's a lot of potential there. The Villains are $1 billion franchise, just like the princesses, and I could see Disney wanting to put it in Disneyland somewhere. There will be people that will say there's no room. The same people that said we couldn't fit Galaxy's Edge, and we did. Disney will find a way, if they want to fit something in there. They will find a way to do it. Your idea is great, Ben. I mean, you can get rid of the theater. You can kind of go into towards Galaxy's Edge. There's possibilities there. Obviously, we probably wouldn't get the same level of the same scope as Walt Disney World because but I think we can get some version of that. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I love Ben. I love your idea because we were kind of talking about it when we were discussing HHN, where if Dark Universe is going to be very successful, which I think we all know that it's going to be, that there's a possibility they may incorporate that into Universal Hollywood somewhere. And I do feel like this can go the same route with Disney. I do believe that the Villains area in Magic Kingdom is going to be very popular, very well received. And I think that would be kind of like the startup placeholder for them to consider adding the Villains into Disneyland Park as well. It may not be an exact replica, but I do think that Disneyland Park should have their own interpretation of a Villains area.
Interesting. Now, Tones, as a park normie, would a Villains Land be of interest to you?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I think it's funny because you can, as far as villains in general, you could just make a case that they're just as important as like what's in certain movies. Like, but yes, absolutely, people love villains, and especially in animated movies, especially with Disney, they're very talked about when it comes to those kind of movies. So yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Lucas? Do you see this land coming to Disneyland, or do you think it's going to be a Florida exclusive?
I mean, the word Villains Land is really, kind of, overstretched type of opinion, really. Like, there are so many super villains in Disney characters. Doesn't it have to be, one, like, it doesn't have to be everything in one park right there. I know that Starship 824 just kind of said, he wants it to be Florida exclusive, but like maybe Maleficent's place could be the only exclusive one in Florida, but another super villain area could be placed in Disneyland. You see what I mean? Doesn't always have to be exactly the same thing, but also it doesn't mean that we should only have all the villains land in one park while the others cannot. And as far as I know, the Oogie Boogie Bash in Disneyland has a lot of villains references during the Halloween at the California, as far as I know. I've never been there in person, but I've always watched the YouTube video, and I've noticed a lot of villains references, like such as Evil Queen and like what other characters are like the Scar and Jafar. So we have to understand Disneyland also kind of needs a villain's land and have its own identity a little bit, so to bring more guests over there.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Lucas, where you can do Villains Land in Disneyland and Magic Kingdom and both have them different approaches to the same general idea. So you can put different villains in Disneyland's version, similar to what they do with Pandora. I mean, we're not getting a carbon copy of Pandora here at DCA. We're getting a different version of that land. It's still Pandora, it's still Avatar, but it's a different take on that.
Also with Cars.
And Cars, exactly. You're getting Cars at Magic Kingdom,
and that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because I agree with Starship to a certain extent, but then I also respectfully disagree. I'm one that it's like I would rather have something unique and original to say, okay, this is going to drive me to go to Walt Disney World, and then this is something that's unique and different that will drive me to go to Disneyland. But I'm okay with them utilizing the same IP, but just in a different way that makes it unique from one coast to the other.
Right, exactly. I think Keegan here brings up an interesting point. They're going with classic villains at Walt Disney World, could go with maybe more modern at Disneyland. I mean, if you wanted to, you could maybe even do, I mean, it depends, right? Because we're getting Pandora in DCA. They might change DCA's name. It might be Disney's Cinematic Adventure, right? If they change DCA's name to Disney's Cinematic Adventure, you can do a Villains Land in DCA. You can even do a more modern take on that same concept and have villains of like maybe like Pixar. You can even do villains of like Marvel or whatever. You could have a different take on that villain's concept, right, in DCA. So there's a lot you can do with it. I think, Lucas, you have a great idea where you just you bring it here, but you bring it in a different way and you keep it fresh, and that way each park has a different kind of energy. I think it could work. What say you, Italiana?
Yeah, actually with the classic villains and more modern, that's a good idea of Kate, but actually I would reverse it. I would actually do more classic for Disneyland, because it seems like Disneyland has that more nostalgia to the older kind of like films, where Magic Kingdom just seems more modern. As you mentioned, OG, it's like the live action version of Disneyland. So I would have utilized, if they go that route, to use more of the modern villains for Magic Kingdom. But yeah, as long as they keep some originality and differences between if they were to utilize villains for both coasts, just like how they're doing with Avatar and Cars, then I'm cool with it. And even if they have like different attractions, like have something unique to Disneyland, have something unique to Walt Disney World as well.
Yep.
Can I ask you gentlemen a question and chat?
Yeah.
I think this is a big cool little discussion. If you guys can pick, it's totally off subject, by the way. So are you guys done with the subject you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys can pick one ride from any park in the world, what ride would that be? And
To bring it
why?
here,
Yes, to bring it to Disneyland.
I would pick Mystic Manor from Hong Kong Disney. That one looks
Ooh,
dope.
which one's that?
Mystic Manor, bro, is you go through this like enchanted house kind of, but it's not like fairy tale enchanted. It's more like adventure enchanted, if that makes sense. But you go through and there's like this cool little monkey and there's all these special effects. It's a trackless ride vehicle. It looks really dope, dude. Mystic Manor, Hong Kong Disneyland.
Mine would be Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast
From Tokyo?
at Tokyo.
What about you, Lucas? What would you bring from the international parks over to the U.S. parks, if you could?
International parks?
Well, technically, so my bad. I don't know if I specified the question. And any park, it could be any park in the world. Doesn't
Okay,
matter, doesn't matter.
okay.
Disneyland.
So I was gonna say,
Universal, anything.
I was gonna say I can't really judge any other international parks because I've never been one. So that would be the worst opinion of me. I would say Velocicoaster in Disneyland.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Velocicoaster. So you do cross companies, like a crossover from Universal.
Same rail, but make it into like an Iron Man type of theme into it, and then that might
have the intensity of Velocicoaster.
Yeah. That might redeem the failure of that Iron Man ride in the Disneyland Paris, I think, right? The one that everyone's
that roller coaster is wild. I've never been on a roller coaster where you start out fast and you think that's okay, that's the top speed you're going to go. No, you're completely wrong. As you keep going, that son of a bitch goes faster and faster.
That's Velocicoaster you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's nuts, bro. I'm staying off of that thing. I'll meet you at the gift shop, George. I'll meet you at the gift shop on that one. But the Giant Peter show here says, happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween to you as well, Giant Peter. Question for George. Does he miss scaring people on elevators at DCA?
Definitely, because I used to do it. Even when I not dressed as the bellhop, I would literally... I have a joy of... this is a little bit of my dark side. I have a joy of... at times freaking people out at the worst time, and I usually utilize. I don't do it with Mission Breakout because it happens so fast, but with the Tower of Terror I do. I creep people out. As soon as the doors shut, I immediately do this high-pitched scream when the lights go out and everything. I also do that in the Haunted Mansion.
Can we hear the scream?
Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so I have to set this. I have to set the stake. I have to set it up. So if
OG's walking in the room, dude.
The stretching room, and then you're going down and everything, and then of course there's always my way, and then the lights go out and I go ah.
That's perfect. You're making my ears stand up, George. Ah! That was fantastic. Mr. Seymour Duck here says Splash Mountain from Tokyo, of course. And then he goes, only kid.
Oh man.
Why was wrong with that one?
Can we go back to this one really quick?
Sure.
But we didn't touch upon it. From Dragonblood says, since Universal made those Monsters Unchained animatronics, do you think Disney will find a way to make technology that is far more cutting edge than what Universal is doing for Epic Universe? I don't necessarily know if they'll find a way to plus it, but I think just technology in general. I think as time progresses and these entertainment giants utilize that, and I tell you what, those monster animatronics are pristine, top notch. I don't know if right now Disney can overpower that, but I do think that Disney does need to work on utilizing that new technology because they're going to have to, and especially if their villains land is going to go up against Dark Universe.
Yeah, Disney's got to bring it. Disney's got to bring it with those. I mean, honestly, I would be happy if they're the same quality as the ones that we're seeing for Epic Universe. I'd be fine with that, but they got to at least match what Unchained is doing. Now, Lucas, have you seen the animatronics that we're talking about? What did you think about them? I
mean, everything in Epic Universe has been pretty impressive more than anything. I've also looked at the Wizarding World as well too. So I'm at a loss of words right now when it comes on the Epic Universe. I think they brought out their Ninth Symphony to show what they're capable of during the pandemic. before and after pandemic. So if anything, Disney needs to really step up for not only just the animatronics, but also their LED lights on the floor in the Epcot too. They're breaking apart, and a lot of things are breaking apart in Disney World. I don't know what's going on right now. Like the prices, and then everything's going downhill as soon as the Galactic Star Cruiser has been falling apart. So.
Yeah, they gotta. The Epcot thing is really sad to see. It's cool effect, but it has to work. You know what I'm saying? It has to work.
When it comes down to animatronics, you can do animatronics afterwards, after they fix majority of the park stuff, and including the community core hall that turned into a cafeteria.
Yeah, exactly. Keegan here says, did you hear the rumor about Disney canceling the Spider-Man stunt show in Avengers Campus? Actually, that's not true, Keegan. Actually, I heard that rumor, but it actually turned out to be false. They're actually expanding it. They're actually going to do more shows, but they're getting rid of, we talked about this earlier today, right, George? They're getting rid of the live performers of the show, right?
Correct.
So we're just going to get the animatronic, and we're going to get it more often during the day, but they're not going to have the human element of it. It's a union thing, right? If you want to go ahead and elaborate, George.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because OG and I were talking about it earlier because we thought the same thing of, okay, they're cutting another aspect of life in Avengers Campus, the one land that needs more life at DCA. But yes, they're going to add more shows into throughout the day. So it utilizes the Stuntronic more. They're going to have more meet and greets for guests to interact with Spider-Man, but the beginning part of the show and the ending where Spider-Man is crawling down the wall and then he runs out and what have you, and he does his little flips and everything, they're just cutting those parts out because of it's something that has to do with the unions.
Yeah, 100%. And we have Abby in the house. Happy Halloween, guys. Happy Halloween, Abby. Happy Halloween. And thank you for joining us on this Halloween night. We appreciate you. So, Tones Poppy, word on the street, you have a quiz for us.
Yes, before we start, or before you share it, do you guys consider you guys, pretty good at deciphering which ride you're at, right? Without actually looking at the name of the ride.
Oh yeah. I mean, it depends on what are you showing me though. Are you just showing me visuals, or is it gonna be sounds, or what?
Visuals. So if someone showed you a picture of a queue, you guys could say, okay, this is the queue of blank.
I think we probably could. Yeah.
Pretty good at it. I mean, I would be better at Disneyland and Disney World because I've only been at Disney World once, but Disneyland for sure. Disney World, it would be a little bit tougher, but I could probably get through it.
Okay, I believe this is Disneyland. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but
all right,
go ahead and share it. So this is guessing the queue at Disneyland based off the ground. All right.
Okay.
So
I'm ground. Interesting.
Yeah, off the ground. So let's see if you guys can get it. And chat, you guys can feel free to chime in on your answers too. So starting off with.
Oh, if you could just mute it, Tones, because they might shut down Thanks, brother. Perfect. Okay, so this is number one, right? So that's all we're seeing?
That's all you get to see.
Oh, dude, this is rough. Okay.
Damn.
I'll rewind it a little bit.
Yeah.
Why does that look like a Toy Story type of ride on the floor right there?
Oops.
Oh
hell! Yeah. I don't.
This is rough, man. I thought you were gonna. I thought they were gonna show the whole thing. So this is. Oh, dude. Is that? It's not Big Thunder because Big Thunder looks more rustic, right? Or is it Big Thunder?
I actually do not. Wow. You know what? Now the next time I go to the parks, when I'm in line, I'm looking down.
I honestly. Wait, hold on one sec. Seymour, this is for you, buddy. Hold on. Here we go, Seymour.
Nothing can stop us now.
There we go. That's his favorite song. I honestly, I can't. I don't know. Do you know,
George? Is that
Mickey
and Minnie's Runaway Railway?
No, because Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway has like that themed kind of like woody. It looks like wood, that like painted wood.
But down on the floor?
It seems like everyone's on the same answer right there. The Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
These people are more nerds than us. This is a very shameful situation. Right?
Yeah, I honestly I don't know.
Just for the sake of it, I'll say Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
That's a good choice because I didn't realize the comments were right there.
Well, here's the thing: I wasn't even looking at the comments. To be
Me
honest.
neither.
And actually, what did it was when OG played the music, and then it kind of like made me think, okay, they have the bar there and everything, and it kind of like when you look beyond the bar, it's like it doesn't have anything like where you have to walk out onto the platform to get onto the train.
I'm pretty sure Seymour Duck was actually giving us a hint what the answer was.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it correlated.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Mr. Duck, Mr. Duck. All right, let's see what number 2.
Let's see number 2. It had like a green.
That's a space type of like a ride right there.
Green.
Dude, this is rough. Oh, Buzz Lightyear, Astro Blasters.
Yeah, that color it looks like a space type of ride.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Astro Blasters. I'm gonna go Astro Blasters. Okay.
That is correct.
Woohoo! That
So
green gave it
3?
away.
I think this one's the easiest one, right? Number
Small
3.
World.
Yeah. Wait.
That's small. Oh, number 3 is Small World for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell by
That's
the
a
blue
small
railing.
world?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's our Small World. Yep.
Number 4.
What's 4?
This one's tough. I wouldn't know this one. I mean, not
Is
that
that
I go
Pirate?
there.
Indiana Jones. Is that the outdoor queue where you go up the wood?
There's a wooden bridge right there, so
I think it's Indy. You know, maybe not.
Yeah, it's like a. Yeah,
You don't talk about, George, that bridge that when you're
the
outside.
bridge where you go up to the temple.
Yeah, that's
Is it
what I'm
Indy?
guessing. I think it's Indy,
I don't remember that.
but it could be Pirates though too. I don't know.
And that's what I thought. I was thinking of Pirates, but then again, I don't because it would have to be when you're in the building. See, I don't look down at when I'm walking. That's
Right.
is that the does the Disneyland have a big Thunder Railroad? Maybe I don't know.
Oh, we do, but I don't think it has. Well,
What's the one where they're taking you around the boat and he's like making jokes and stuff? Which
oh,
one's that?
Jungle
Jungle
Cruise.
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
It
Okay.
could be
Well,
that too.
The creator of this video says that like it's wrong for Indiana Jones and Pirates. So
Maybe it is Jungle Cruise.
Oh, the only reason why I say Jungle Cruise is I remember walking on. It looked like a pier, like how a pier would look.
Yeah.
And before you hopped on the boat.
so does
And then
that
you can
mean it's
see
a
that-
Tom Sawyer or
Well, you see the shadow. It's a wood rope.
Yeah.
It's probably Jungle Cruise, bro. Or maybe like you were saying, Lucas, maybe it's Tom Sawyer. It's one of those. This
But
is
also,
rough.
but being that it does have that rope to hold on, as you said, OG, with Indiana. I know they're saying it's not Indiana Jones, but there is that rope where you grab onto to go up to the temple.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. You have the answer, Tones?
I don't know why they don't put the answers, but no.
Oh,
He
shit.
if you keep scrolling down, maybe the answer is right there. I guess somebody might have answered. No to Small World or Indiana Jones. That's what the person says.
Oh,
So
yeah,
the
right
number
here.
3 is wrong, I guess.
What? I wish that we had the answers, though. That's crazy.
Surprised that he didn't put the answers in here.
Oh,
Oh my
Buzz,
God.
yes. So Buzz is correct. Okay. With that green, I figured it was.
You know what? I feel ashamed of being a park nerd now.
I know, right? That's crazy, you guys. Oh,
Yeah.
Jay,
I'm sorry. I wish I had the answers for you.
you know what I'm saying? That's
So
wild.
You know what? Why don't we just ask the chat to see like if they can answer for us?
I
Yeah,
know, right?
exactly. Interestingly, I've noticed that only on Kilimanjaro Safari Queue.
Well, JMMG thinks it's Jungle Cruise.
Jungle
like you
Cruise.
said, OG. So
And then Florentine says Tiki Room. So
is Tiki Room even an attraction? Is it even a ride? Or I always was
It's like
under
a
the-
show. It's like a 15-minute show.
You want to do another quiz real
yeah,
quick?
let's do it. Let's do it.
This
What
one would
you-
be more of like questions.
Okay, what you got? What you got?
All right. Almost forgot to share someone here. There we go. This
right,
one's
here we
probably
go.
going to be easy. But does it have music? That's the question.
Oh,
4 out out of 6 on this quiz. First one should be easy.
Is that
What
okay?
food is Tiana?
Oh,
That-
yeah,
that
yeah. It's just a
music?
voice. Yeah.
What food is tea?
You're not allowed to Disneyland if you can't get 4 out of 6 on this quiz. First one should be easy. What food is Tiana famous for in The Princess
Beignets.
Oh,
Yeah. Beignets.
yeah.
Beignets.
and the Frog?
Beignets.
Yeah.
Bayonets. Second one.
Bayonets.
Which Disney movie features a character named Baymax?
Big Hero.
Big Hero 6.
Yes.
Big Hero 6. Third one. What is the name of the demigod who accompanies Moana on her journey in Moana?
Maui.
No, yeah. That's medium? Dang.
I know, right?
Maui. Hit like if you get the first 3 questions right. The fourth one. What is the name of the teapot character in Beauty and the Beast?
Mrs. Potts. I love the Forensic Files voice on this thing.
Mrs. Potts was shit. Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts. Fifth one.
The
What is
Rock.
the name of Pocahontas' pet raccoon?
Nico.
Nico.
Nico?
Nico, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like one character that I never really paid attention to, so I would have gotten this.
Mako. Last one, but don't forget to tell me your score in the comment. Who composed the music for The Lion King?
Hans Zimmer.
Tim Rice.
Tim Rice.
Tim Rice.
Yeah.
I thought it was Hans Zimmer.
Oh, maybe it is.
No, it was Tim. It was Tim
Elton
Rice.
John.
Elton
Elton
John.
What?
Well, they did it together. It was Elton John and Tim Rice. That's why I said both of them, because like they. Well, Tim Rice did I think more so did the lyrics. Elton John composed the. Yeah.
I feel like that question is like kind of like multiple questions that can be right, because Elton John, Tim Rice, and also Hans Zimmer was also involved in the composing the music too. So
Mhm.
That's true. Yeah, it can kind of go multiple different ways. Let's take another one of the questions from the chat. Let me see here. From Yance Smokes. Is there room at Magic Kingdom for them to add a Coco attraction between Cars and Villains Land? George, what do you think, Nick? Could they? I think they could, right?
So, so here's the thing. Yes and no. They can add Coco, but where the location would be, they couldn't do it in between where Cars and Villains is. And I actually, I added Dragon Blood's comments to the question because it actually adds to what I was saying. But they can put it to the back left-hand side of where Big Thunder is, because there is an expansion pad there where they could add Coco, where a lot of people thought that's where Coco was going to go if they added it to Magic Kingdom. But yeah, so this Dragon Blood said exactly, and then majority of the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer is going to go specifically for Cars and Villains, but there is like a small expansion pad behind Big Thunder that they could, if they wanted to add Coco.
Is that though? But behind Big Thunder though, is that the land that like? Because not all of it is usable, buildable land though, right? Over there.
Yes, it depends on if it gets clearance because of the water management district and everything with the levels of the water and what have you. But I do think that specific spot is maintained for expansion if they wanted to use it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And then Florentine here says, yeah, the side of Big Thunder, I think, is a pad. Yep. Perfect. Let me see. We'll do a couple more here. We got Dragon Blood in the house. D23 Brazil lineup has been revealed. I'm keeping that on my top priority. Big time. Got to show me more of Tropical Americas, Cars, Villains, Pandora, Avengers. Yeah, I want to see more detail on all this stuff. I think Tropical Americas, we're going to get a lot of information because of, like the event is held in Brazil. So it makes sense. But hopefully we get just for Pandora, where is it going to go in DCA? That's driving me, that drives me nuts that we don't know where it's going to go. So hopefully we get more info on that.
I think we're going to get more info on where things are going to be officially placed, possibly more detailed on dates opening. We may get more info on specific rides, maybe some different concept scenes of what's going to be involved, ride systems, ride vehicles, names of the attractions, because apparently there's still going to supposedly be a second attraction even for Pandora.
Right.
Wasn't even mentioned yet.
It's crazy.
Supposedly. So yeah, we'll see. But we may even get surprises at D23 Brazil that may not have even been mentioned. That they may have saved it specifically for Brazil and not use it for D23 in California. For instance, there was a lot of rumors that a Moana attraction was going to come to the parks somewhere, somehow, and nothing was said at D23, but they may have be saving it for D23 Brazil because there are pavilions that they brought up the roster for the event, and there is going to be a pavilion for specifically Walt Disney World, and their park showcase is going to be on the 9th, I believe, which is I think it's Saturday.
Gotcha. Okay, we got Brian, and then we got a question from BJ to Mr. Lucas. So Brian here says, do you think Moana 2 will be Inside Out 2 at the box office? We actually did a great conversation on this on Tones' channel. And if you're not subscribed to Tones, Bad Thoughts Studio on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to him, show him love. We're on there all the time. So you can get the OG guys, and then Tones makes amazing content with his crew. They do a lot of like Game of Thrones stuff and like just Marvel, everything. So make sure you follow them, subscribe to them. But look, if Moana 2 is good, if Moana 2 is a good movie, it will absolutely beat Inside Out 2. Moana is a freaking powerhouse franchise. Just be decent to good, and I think you could beat it. But
yeah, you brought up the word decent when we were speaking about it. It just has to be a decent movie,
yeah,
and it will probably beat out Inside Out. It will probably beat out Inside Out 2 just because of the name alone.
Yeah, 100%. What say you, Lucas? You think it has a chance beating Inside Out 2?
I think it has a chance. I mean, truth be told, like Moana has more popular. My personal opinion is that I believe that Moana has a popularity than Inside Out. As you know, I didn't even really watch Inside Out until like last year, and that was like my first time ever watching it. So, and everyone's been always telling me that Inside Out is a really good movie. I never really had a chance to watch it, but I watched it Moana the first day that it launched, and the whole theater was packed. Like all the seats were taken. So I do believe that Moana 2, if the story is good, if the musics are good, if it's like a catchy music that kids are can sing into, it will do very well. The main point about Disney when it comes to Disney music is about catchy musical song that kids can get into, and that one song alone have them to say, "Mom, Dad, I want to go back to watch this movie again to sing so long."
Yeah, completely agree. I think there's a very good chance this thing can beat it. Disney's having a really good year at the box office. BJ Vincent here with a question directed at Lucas Kim. This is a follow-up concerning Macross franchise being released to Blu-ray in the US and Canada. It looks like Crunchyroll has finally released Macross Plus, which I just received, and Macross Zero OVA series Blu-ray limited edition. Are you planning getting these, or did you already?
Recently, these days, I'm not like really like a Blu-ray hunter, like buying all these discs all the time, because most of these like Blu-ray players take forever to load, and then going through the menu is just like a pain in the ass. So usually these days, I just like watch the movies through digitally. But I'll probably purchase Macross Plus and Macross Zero digitally and watch it, especially Plus, since Plus is my favorite series out of all of the Macross series. I don't know any of you have ever watched Macross series before, but back then it was called Robotech. But I'm pretty sure, like, maybe when you were young, you might have heard that series before.
Yeah, no, I have heard it. I haven't seen it, but I have heard that series. Excellent question, BJ. Thank you for that, sir. Abby here says, yes, another great video on Bad Thoughts Studio. Yeah, it was a good video. We did that one recently about Moana, and we also did another episode of with Tones on his channel all about Coco, which is a lot of fun. CSRS here says, could a Disney animation area possibly be one of the lands in the Simba lot? Plus, what other IP land could go to the Walt Disney Studio Park after Lion King opens? What say you, George?
I would absolutely love to see a Disney animation area open up at the Simba lot. I would just love to see it just in general anywhere because, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, the Disney Renaissance era was a pinnacle point in the company that I feel like just brought Disney into a whole new era. Even when after Walt's passing, they just couldn't really like get the ball shifting, you know. And it's like from the late '60s into the '70s and even the '80s, it wasn't until late '80s, 1989, where The Little Mermaid kind of spearheaded, you know, the Renaissance era, where it brought a new life to Disney animation. So I don't know why it's taking this long for Disney to incorporate uh, the Disney Renaissance era of films like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King. I mean, it's taking so long even for The Lion King to end up like with a major attraction in a park, and it's going over into Paris, which is great. You know, I'm glad, you know, they're getting something, but I would love to see more Disney Renaissance like area in the domestic park. So, I mean, if they have an area that they could put over there in the Simba lot, absolutely. I would love it.
Can I ask a quick question, George?
Yes.
So you know, there's the iconic rides. Let's say at Disneyland, right? The ones that've been there for, you know, years and years and years.
Mhm.
Will there ever be a time, or do you see it ever happening, of them taking those out and replacing them with newer characters or newer movies, and or is it something they can't do because it's just so iconic?
So, very good question. Actually, I was having a conversation about this with Abby when we were in the parks. And now, folks, now when I say this, I'm not saying that this is going to be anytime soon, but I do feel like we got off the Jungle Cruise, and I enjoyed it. It was really good. I absolutely love the Jungle Cruise. It's a classic. But I asked Abby, and I said, "How long do you really think that this attraction is going to last?" And when I say that, I'm not talking about right now, but I'm talking about like 15, 20, 30 years down the road. Like, how relevant is this attraction really going to be with newer modern technology expanding and growing and progressing? Could they potentially, you know, get rid of the Jungle Cruise and put in something that is more popular or more updated? I even suggested, you know, down the road, depending on how successful Moana 2 is, who's even to say if they come out with a Moana 3, you know, and that could take years. So it's, yeah, yeah, but yeah, here I go. So to answer your question, I don't think anything is really safe at Disney, to be honest with you. I think in time, to even pay respect to the man who created it, Walt himself, he did not want a museum. He wanted nothing that was stagnant. He wanted things to progress as time and technology evolved. And I think in time, as much as we grow an attachment to these attractions, in time, it's, you know, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as movies and things are coming out nowadays, and I mean, you see Inside Out 2 being the most successful animated movie ever. It's like you see these movies that are eventually going to come out. It's like, when do you think it's time to replace those rides and those characters that were once famous and once a really good ride into something that is current? You know, I feel like a lot of people don't go to certain rides, you know, because they want to go to it. It's like always, oh, this ride has a 5-minute wait, let's go to this one. You know what I'm saying? I think there might be some kind of, not something missing, but I feel like they could utilize bigger characters than what they have at some of those rides in Disneyland.
That's interesting.
And and then the second part for CSRS, what else they could add after Lion King at it's the Studios Park, but eventually it'll be Adventure World or World Adventure. It's one of the two. I always forget. I don't know exactly what else that they would put in there, but I do know something. Whatever they do, I know what they can replace. They can replace that god awful Cars attraction that took over the tram. That thing is hideous.
Yeah.
And it's taking up a chunk of real estate that they could definitely utilize something else with that for sure.
Now, Abigail here says Italiano killed the red car trolley. Definitely check out the live show tomorrow, right, George?
Yes, the live show.
Because we kind of it'll make sense tomorrow. But tomorrow, 7:30, check out the live show. There's a part of it that killing the red car trolley will definitely come into play there. Kiki and Luca is in the house. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you as well, Kiki and Luca.
Happy Halloween. And I actually have something about in response to George's comment about him saying that like that no rides are safe in Disney parks. Like I've always kind of like made a statement about that on Twitter all the time. I said people have grown all their lives since they were kids with all of these rides before, and they're grown fondly attached to them. And every time when Disney announces something new or replacing them, there has never been a happy comment that came from these Disney adults, because they grew up with these, and being removed for something, whether it's IP or whether it's like a redesign or whatever it is, like not a good comment has ever came up. But I always say, like, how long are we gonna like just keep getting ourselves attached to this for like for the next 50 to 60 years? The new generations are not going to be like finding these rides to be enjoyable, while other parks outside of Disney are going to be have more innovative and more entertaining rides. So Disney World can't have these rides as some kind of a museum. That's just never going to work. And like George said, Walt didn't want it to be a museum, and he wanted it to be something, the rights to change, the rights to improve, so that more people can come in every time when there's something new. And I still remember that one particular scene in the Back to the Future Part 2, where Marty goes into the new like the diner, and he like plays the arcade game, a shooter game in front of these new generation kids, and he was like showing how it's done, and the kids are like, "Oh, you have to use a gun to shoot it? That's boring." And I could bring that up as a reference, like we generations are different, like within the next 20 years, and more if they don't change anything new, there's not going to be enough guests. And I remember some adults were saying that's perfectly fine. The Disney parks are not made for new generation. Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like,
well, yeah, you bring up a great point, Lucas. Like, the thing is, Universal has an advantage because they're not as married to the nostalgia like Disney is, right? And I think that the nostalgia is a good thing for Disney, but it also holds it back in a lot of ways. You want to have some creative freedom there. You don't want, like you said, Lucas, and what you guys have been saying, where it's like you don't want a museum where you just have like this stagnant thing. That's really not what Walt wanted. He wanted these things to evolve and change. Now you have to do it in a smart way. You don't want change just for the sake of change, right? But I think fans get a little too stuck on things of the past, and they don't want it to ever go away. For perfect example is Muppets, the Muppet Vision at Hollywood Studios. Look, I respect it for being Jim Henson's last work. And I've said many times before, they should preserve the film, whether they put it in a museum, like a Jim Henson museum or something like that, where future generations can still enjoy it. But you can't have that thing in there forever. It's very early 90s CGI. It looks outdated. You're doing the park a disservice by keeping something in there that looks so dated and so like of yesteryear. You have to move on. You got to evolve. You got to grow. And, like I said, it's Jim Henson's last work, put it somewhere and preserve it, but you don't have to keep it in the park. The park should evolve. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But Keegan here says, if they retheme Jungle Cruise, redo it to the Jungle Book. That would be interesting.
That is interesting, because when I was in the park on Sunday, my first day when I was out there were two women behind me. I was walking through New Orleans Square, and I guess that they weren't they were Disney fans, but obviously they weren't regulars. And one of them was saying, "Oh, did you get a lightning lane for the Jungle Book boat ride?" And I'm thinking in my head, like, what the hell is she talking about? And then it dawned on me, I was thinking, oh, she must be referring to the Jungle Cruise. And that just goes to show even what you had said many times, OG. A lot of times when they incorporate IPs into these rides, it's not necessarily for the diehard Disney fan. It's for the soccer moms that just know, hey, this is an IP that I recognize, and my kids would enjoy it because they love the movies. They don't think nothing of it. So when they hear, oh, a Jungle Boat ride, oh, it must be because it's related to the Jungle Book.
Right. No, absolutely.
Now, is there real quick? Is there a ride that they will never touch? Like they just won't ever break this thing down, or
Pirates, because it is a
protected landmark.
protected landmark. Yes.
okay,
But they can update it though.
They can update it. They can alter
Okay.
it, but they can't get rid of it altogether.
that was gonna be my next question, because there's obviously, you go everywhere around the country, there's protected landmarks, and I never really thought about something in Disneyland being a protected landmark. So
Pirates,
cool to know.
Pirates, the Hungry Bear restaurant. I thought there was one more. Was it the railroad?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think the railroad is actually the historic.
And wasn't City Hall part of that as well? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. So
Wow.
there's like 4 or 5 structures within Disneyland Park that they can alter, they can change, they can update, but they can't get rid of altogether.
Yeah.
I think that goes the same for Walt Disney World as well too. Like the Epcot's spaceship Earth building? I think
Yeah.
they kind of made that as a iconic building in the Florida state or something like that.
Yeah, makes sense. And I'm glad. I mean, look, it's a balancing act, right? Like JMMG here says, I think Disneyland would still be popular as a museum, kind of like a time capsule. Yeah, I mean, it probably would though. I probably would, JMMG, but that's kind of anti-Walt though. I mean, Walt didn't want a museum. He wanted these places to evolve and change. That was his whole mission statement when it came to Disneyland.
Because especially with prices going up in time, it's going to hit a point where people are like, okay, why am I spending more to get the same thing over and over again? You have to keep that refresh, that reboot sort of thing. And again, we are connected to these attractions. We do have memories tied to them, but we also should realize that if something is going away, you'll still always have those memories.
Right.
But you can create new ones with whatever else that they add, because even to what the park is today, it's not the park that opened back on July 17th, 1955. It changed since then.
Yeah.
But people still love and go to it. So it's like, you're going to see change. If
we didn't have change, you wouldn't have Big Thunder, because they got rid of Nature's Wonderland to put Big Thunder in there, right? Sometimes change is good, and sometimes it doesn't work out as well, right? Rocket Rods, perfect example, right? But that's the beauty of change. Sometimes you have to take that risk, in life too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can play it safe. You can never approach the girl. You can never apply for the new job. You'll be safe. You'll never get rejected. But what fun is that? You're never going to have any new experience. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, change is tough. Yeah, they might change something and it might be worse. But isn't it better to try than just sit there and just be like, right?
Well said,
exactly.
yeah.
And even if there is a failure to your try, just remember there's a topical cream for everything.
Right.
Oh my God! For the love of God, please replace the Tomorrowland Speedway. For the love of God, that is already beyond museum now.
Yeah, 100%.
Kiki gets it.
Yeah, he said, well said, guys. You got to mix it up in the Belgium or it gets boring. Yeah, totally. You got to. Absolutely. Okay, J. Brad. I recently learned that Animal Kingdom's BC Kingdom was going to be called Mythia, with a clear good versus evil look. What if Simba-Lot was a villains versus heroes land? Oh man, that's sexy. I like that a lot. With heavy focus on Disney Renaissance. That, J. Brad, you know what? Imagineering, just go ahead and hire this man right now. That is a dope idea.
You know what? I actually know what J. Brad is talking about, and since he's a video game player just like me, and he's into Kingdom Hearts, like there's like one particular area that would work really well, and that's the Mount Olympus with the Hercules like a land on top of it, and then below would be Hades land with the
Kingdom Hearts
2.
2. Yes.
2. Yes. So you would write that like the probably attraction would be like a ride of the Pegasus, and you would be riding Pegasus to fight the Titans while you're like interacting with the simulation. I think that would be pretty good, and I think that J. Brad is on point right there.
Yeah. No. Well said. Well said. Let me see here. We'll take we have one more here. We got Keegan. They could flip the Jungle Cruise direction. Then you are on a cruise looking for the ruins and the treasure. Jungle trying to prevent you. See, this is the kind of outside the box thinking that I love.
Yeah.
This is what I love to see. That's a brilliant idea, Keegan. Like that's what Disneyland or Disney Park should be about, is trying new things, thinking differently, right? You never know until you try. You never know until you try. That's an interesting idea, Keegan. J. Brad, I'm happy for the new stuff, but I feel so much of Disney's history and catalog is being skipped over like the Renaissance or losing representation like dinosaur. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what I was kind of touching upon too, Brad, where it's like, you want change, but it's not always going to be good change necessarily. But the Renaissance era, I agree with you, sorely underrepresented. And it has been for years. I mean, even the Michael Eisner era, which that Renaissance era was birthed from the Eisner era, even he didn't put it in our parks. I don't understand it. I do not
I
understand.
still don't either. I don't.
It's bizarre to me, bro. It's bizarre to me. So I don't know. We'll see.
But really quick, I just wanted to bring this up really quick too, because I had it up. I think this would be a really cool concept. Dr. Starlander, if they were to kind of implement that into like the village area, because if you look at the concept art, there is like a village area where you kind of see somewhat of a mansion. So it does make me wonder, because Cruella is represented big time when they started utilizing like the promotion for villains, and she's also going to be utilized in the new show at Hollywood Studios. So I wonder if that manor is Hell Hall. And that would be really cool to kind of do like a wild, crazy, zany car ride of Cruella de Vil. That would be
amazing, actually. I would love that. That'd be very, very different. Well, everybody, I want to thank you all so much for watching this Halloween edition of OG55. I'll start with you, Mr. Bellhop Italiano. Where could everybody at home find you on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
Absolutely. Mr. Lucas Kim, it's always good to have you on, sir. I love your costume. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, X, at Lucas. It's Lucas Kim, and then also you can find me on Blue Sky. It's Lucas Kim, and you can also like and subscribe at Lucas and Disney YouTube channel. I also play video games sometimes at Lucas Kim channel and Twitch. So you might be able to see me a couple of times this weekend for the new video game. What is it? Monster Hunter Wilds. That's been coming out pretty soon. So I'm going to be playing demo during this weekend.
And really quick, Lucas, for people who may not know who you are dressed as, if you can just give a little touch of like what character you are.
You know what? I actually was like posting this photo to somebody, and then they actually thought that I was from The Grudge or something for a second. But actually, my character is Kaonashi, also known as No Face from Spirited Away from Studio Ghibli. So if anybody kind of like noticed that for a second, and no, it's not Avatar, unfortunately.
Great costume. Looks really, really cool. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this episode of OG55. Oh, I missed Tones Poppy. I'm so sorry, Tones.
We forgot about Tones.
No, Tones Poppy. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Yeah, thank you again for having me, gentlemen. I appreciate it. You guys can find me at Tones_TV on all platforms. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000. Hopefully we can get it sometime next year. I think it would be a great milestone that we could reach over at Bad Thought Studios on YouTube. So go check it out if you guys like movies, TV shows, breakdowns, trailer reactions, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Kiki and Luca here says Lucas Kim looks like my wife without makeup in the morning.
Oh my.
There it is. And then one final comment from Kiki and Luca. Tones is a man. I completely agree. You are the man. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this episode of OG55. We'll be back again very soon. We're actually doing another live tomorrow night at 7:30 California time. George has a very special outfit for us. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll see that tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody, and have a happy and safe Halloween.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.